Guys, I'm here with Scott Bean, one of the co-founders of B&D Outfitters here in Nebo, Illinois. Scott, Keith and I spent the last couple of days here with you guys. We were lucky enough to shoot some deer already. So give me a little background on the lodge.
This lodge here, we're located in Bellevue Hall, right on the Calhoun-Pike County line. Majority of our ground that we outfit on is in Pike. We do have some ground in Calhoun. Pike has always been historically good for whitetails. We're also in the Mississippi Flyway, which really helps. You get a good north wind, we get a lot of birds, and the genetics here for whitetails just makes it world renowned. This lodge used to be back in the 90s, Rick Rod House, Ted Nugent, the PSE guys, a lot of guys hunted out of here. My uncle had approached me one time and said, hey, is this something you'd be interested in doing for a living? And I said yes. So we started looking all around the country, and we came across this place for sale and fixed it up and got it back to being an outfitter, and kind of taking a jump on it.
Awesome. So guys, the lodge is awesome. It's set up perfectly. Sleeps a bunch of guys. The cooking and the food is amazing. I'm pretty sure I gained at least 10 pounds since being here. The properties that these guys are hunting, the stand placement between Scott and his guide Craig, you couldn't ask for anything better. They've done all the work. They've studied the properties. They have trail cameras on every single one of them, multiple cameras on every single one of them. So where did your background, how did you say, hey, this is what I want to do? What brought you to that?
Like I said, my uncle kind of approached me, and we were actually on a hunting trip up in Waddington, New York on the St. Lawrence River, and all the guys in the family were there, and he just approached me and asked me, hey, would you want to do something similar to this? And I said, yeah, and we got together and we came up with a list, and we had some expectations. If we couldn't meet them, we weren't going to do it, but we came to agreements with a lot of things and came up with a list. Certain things like come back, you're out hunting all day, gonna have meals cooked for you already, taking guys out to their stands, just little things, because that's what guys like and that's what guys remember, and that's what makes you a successful outfitter.
Awesome. Now, you obviously grew up hunting and fishing. What is your passion per se? Is it whitetail? Is it fishing? Is it waterfowl? What's your passion?
My passion would have to be waterfowl. I grew up doing it all the time, and that's why I think this works out so good with Craig. We make each other dangerous when it comes to the two things. We balance each other out well. So
awesome. So
it's good having Craig.
Like you said, guys, the properties. We personally didn't get to see all of them. I got to ride with Scott a little bit today while he was dropping off some hunters. We're gonna get a chance to duck hunt. We've seen some of the blinds, and you couldn't ask for a better at-home feeling. We came in, there was 8 other guys in camp, and everything, it was like we've been friends for years. Everybody's talking, telling stories, and that's what you want when you're out of state. You want that at-home feeling. You want the camaraderie, and it just, everybody that was here gelled. So it's been great. And so Scott, your trips usually run, guys come in on a Wednesday, start hunting on Thursday, and check out Tuesday.
It all varies. All whitetail hunts are primarily 5 days, 7-night stay. Waterfowl hunts, especially as we get closer to duck season, December, 3 days, 4-night stay. So, we kind of accommodate, to each person, but primarily 5-day whitetail hunts, 3-day waterfowl hunts.
Awesome. And do you offer anything else? A turkey, today we were out at that one property and we had all those quail flush. Do you offer upland if somebody wanted to come in and say, hey, can we get a room from you and you can, let them hunt the properties for birds?
Moving forward, kind of looking into that stuff, something we're going to offer this spring is like morel mushroom hunting. Shed hunting's big out here in the Midwest, so we're going to offer that. People who come here, rent a room, go out and do those different things. But as of right now, with the quail, kind of interferes with whitetail season, so a lot of the quail we have on our properties are on our whitetail properties, so we kind of steer away from that, but it's something we can look to in the future.
That makes it numb, but it makes perfect sense. So guys, if you have a chance, with all the shows and stuff being canceled, as far as consumer shows or industry shows, if you guys want to come in and see Big Buck and hopefully be able to put one on the ground, call Scott, get a hold of B&D Outfitters, bndoutfittersllc.com, correct?
Yes.
And the phone number?
217-491-5276.
I'm telling you right now, guys, you guys will not be disappointed. You're going to get to see all of our hunts on the TV show, and we're also going to get some footage packages together for Scott for him to use. By all means, what did I say to you when I walked up to my buck the other day?
Of a lifetime, you were just wanting to kill one in Pike County.
Right, and I'm telling you right now, from here on out, is whatever lodge Scott has, I will be coming out every year to hunt in Pike County, Illinois. So check them out, guys. B&D Outfitters, bndoutfittersllc.com, and hopefully once the show season kicks off, you'll be able to meet Scott in person and book your hunt. But until then, check out their website, Facebook page, Instagram.
Yep.
Instagram, and get in touch with them, book your hunt, and book it soon, because I know a lot of guys in camp have been calling their buddies. So I'm pretty sure they'll fill up pretty quick here soon. Well, Scott, thank you again for having us out.
You guys.
A blast, and we'll talk to you guys soon. What's going on, everybody? Keith, Greg, we're here at B&D Outfitters, Pike County, Illinois, and obviously we're standing next to two deer, and yes, there are deer. So we were fortunate enough to both shoot a buck on this trip. Keith shot his last night. Tell us about Twos, Keith.
All right, yep. So they call him Twos. They've had him on the camera a bunch. He's 9-pointer. He's got like another little sticker right here. Not really little, still pretty good size. Got a lot of road rash here on his eye guards. Just a slammer of a buck. We didn't measure him up yet, but we're thinking maybe in the 140s. Yeah. Pretty close, that's what they're thinking. He's got a huge neck on, a huge body. I mean, nothing more than I could ask for. I mean, I'm truly blessed. I mean, Scott and Craig really, they did a great job getting us on these deer. Just great guys. I mean, they know their stuff when they're talking about it. He told us right where to go. We saw this guy actually when we went to hang up a stand there, and where he died was legitimately 5-6 yards from where the camera was, where they saw him. Yep. And I shot him about 120 yards from that exact spot. So, I mean, came right to me, right where they had him all set up.
He's been fighting. He's got a broken tip there.
Yep. He's got a lot of character, a lot of rough stuff and curves and that. Yep. Good mass. I mean, I couldn't be happier. It's a buck of a lifetime. Definitely the biggest buck I've shot so far. It's going to be hard to beat that in PA.
So Keith shot Twos over on a property that we hunted the first 2 days. After Keith shot him and we went in and got him out last night, I went over to another property. So the property that Keith was hunting, well, both of us were hunting, but where he took Twos at was actually a river bottom right next to the Mississippi River.
Yeah, we were like 150 yards. Well, yeah, where we shot him, he was up probably half a mile from it, but right up from there. We were hunting right on the water. There's a little outlet to the Mississippi.
Yep. And then so I switched this morning to a different spot, and it was actually a dry creek bed. So I shot this guy. Now Scott and Craig have never seen him on the camera over there, so they're not exactly sure where he came from, but it wasn't one of the bucks that they've had on camera. So that tells us all that he's up and moving, and there's a hot doe in the area, and that's what he was coming in to find. But he's a standard mainframe 8, wide,
nice solid buck.
And definitely, unless you're hunting some mountain bucks in PA, you're not going to find a buck like this where we hunt. So I have to admit, he did look a little bit bigger when I was in the tree. I still wouldn't have passed on him, but I definitely thought he was actually wider than this. But he went about 130, 140 yards, maybe 150 yards from where I shot him, and piled up in the dry creek bed. So both of us just tagged out awesome bucks, and the guys, like Keith said, Craig, who's the guide here, and Scott, who's the owner, just two phenomenal guys. The lodge is great, the whole business setup is great,
food is great,
and we recommend anybody that is looking to come out and shoot a really nice buck in Pike County or Calhoun County, which are the two properties they have land, or excuse me, the two counties they have land. Definitely check them out on the website. It's bndoutfittersllc.com. or you can give them a call, 217-491-5276. That'll take you right to Scott's phone, and you can let him know. They do both waterfowl and whitetail hunting. And I know Keith has a big trip planned next year, so he's not sure if he can swing, but I am definitely looking forward to coming back to B&D for next season, and hopefully try to top this guy a little bit. But other than that, I mean, guys, everything is it's perfect here. It's
a great place. And I said, Craig and Scott, they really know their stuff. I mean, they know every deer they have on here. They know right how they're patterned. I mean, when they tell you to go there, look in these spots, they have the stand set up just right. They have spots where they want you to shoot, and you think, wow, why didn't they open it up more? They know. They have it set just perfect. Just like this one, the opening there, right where they're supposed to come.
Yep.
Same thing with yours. I mean, they just know their stuff. It's nice because some outfitters don't take that time. They really sit down and talk to you. Talk to like just one of your buddies at hunting camp. Take really good care of you.
I mean, every night there's a briefing. What stand you're going to be in, what property you're hunting, who's taking you there.
What the weather's like, wind direction, changing up stands, different plans.
Yep.
We got a section where the guys are hunting pheasants, so they're hitting that in the morning before the pheasant hunters get there, just capitalizing on everything they can.
Yep.
So they really, really work it.
And you know, like I said, I mean, we hung one stand just because we couldn't cross the outlet where Keith was hunting next to. Normally that's lower and you can cross. Yeah. There was another strip of land on the other side. So we couldn't get across, so we hung one stand on the north side of the property that will give us both, you know, a chance at hopefully shooting buck over there. But both shots, Keith's was about 23 to 25 yards. Mine fell right around 27. He was shooting high brush. I had to shoot between some trees. But it all worked out. Both of them ran about the same distance. Both had, you know, perfect shots coming in where it was supposed to, exiting where it needed to. Good blood trails, and basically, you know, we backed out once we shot, and we came back, and that's what Craig and Scott ask you to do. Is you'll have their phone numbers, text them, and hey, I got a deer. You know, give them all the intel you can, and they'll tell you what to do. Whether if it's on the ground, go ahead and get it, or hey, just sneak out of there, and we'll come back and get you. Or in our case, because we were hunting some properties that were about 30 minutes from here, and because there are 8 other guys in camp, we didn't want Scott and Craig driving us around, so we drove every morning out to the properties with good directions, and everything's mapped so you can see everything. So we jumped in the truck after I waited about 45 minutes to an hour before I backed out, and got in the truck and came back here, and within a half hour we went back out and got them. Same thing last night. We got home. Unfortunately for me, my shot, when I hit the record button on the main camera, because we were self-filming, I hit it and I double tapped the button, so it recorded for about 3 seconds and shut off before the shot. Keith, however, had his entire shot on there, so we looked at the footage, we knew it was a good shot, we knew he was down. Scott and Craig jumped in the truck, said let's go, and we went back out and got him. So, but we'll talk to you guys real soon.
Yep.
Hey guys, Greg, Rod Chronicles, sitting here in Calhoun County, Illinois at B&D Outfitters, and just kind of wanted to walk through the last 5 days Keith and I spent out here to share with you guys, because, you know, as a hunter, everybody has a dream of hunting somewhere, and one of my bucket list hunts since I was a kid growing up watching, you know, Outdoor Life magazine on ESPN on Saturday mornings when most kids were watching cartoons. Everybody always talked about the big bucks in Pike County, Illinois. So back in February, I happened to meet Scott Bean and his dad Chris at the Harrisburg Sportsman Show, and we did some talking and we got everything set up, and Keith and I were able to come out here. We got here on Tuesday evening, and just the experience alone of being in the lodge, talking with Scott and his guide Craig, just amazing. You know, for me, I turned 40 in about 2.5 weeks. Scott and Craig are younger than me, but they have definitely put the time in to figure stuff out, looking at properties, studying maps, figuring out whitetail movement. for most people, you won't find that in the younger generation. And what's really cool and what's been kind of surreal a little bit is there's 8 other guys in camp, and we all, range in ages. So there happens to be a gentleman here from upstate New York, and his name is Tony Dennison, and he has just come back not too long ago for an African elephant hunt. And when Scott introduced it to us and told us that he was 85, Keith and I both looked at each other and was like, there's no way he's 85. But the stories that he's been telling, about his African hunts and all the places he's hunted, it really, gets you thinking. So there, that big age swing, and people always say age is just a number, and he's been every morning up at, between 3:30 and 4:30 every morning, and he's out sitting in a ground blind, and then he'll come back in for lunch and then goes out and sits the evening. So he is not messing around at 85 years old. Scott made fun of me a little bit the other day because, when I grew up hunting, you sat for a few hours and you moved, or you walked, the property wherever you were hunting. So he was giving me a little bit of a hard time the other day because I got out of the stand twice. But it all paid off. The properties that they have here with stand locations, camera locations, every night after dinner they do a briefing of where everybody's going to be at. They're showing you the mapping software, showing, okay, here, this is where they're going to funnel from. Everybody has seen deer this week. Keith and I, Keith had his buck come straight into him, and he put a great shot on him at 25 yards. And I was not quite feeling pressure that night, but it was starting to get in my head because, I was busting deer out as I was getting into my stand. So that was playing in my head, and then Keith shoots one, and that was playing in my head. So it really was a mind game at that point. And Craig, who is one of Scott's guides, had said, hey, why don't tomorrow you go and switch to this property? And I jumped into a stand about 6:15 in the morning, and by a little after 7 I had some movement, and at 7:45 my buck came in, made a little rub on a little sapling tree, and you'll see in some of the footage, he was not a ginormous buck, but it was like I was 12 years old and shooting the first deer I ever shot. You could see me shaking in the camera, and I put a shot on him at 27 yards, and we recovered him, 150 yards away. It was a good shot. These deer out here are bigger. Their bodies are bigger. It seems like no matter if it's a good shot or a rough shot, you're gonna have to give them a little time to sit before you go get them. So this, experience for not having to go to an outfitter where you're going to pay an arm and a leg. Certain outfitters in different parts of the country, you might not even see the other hunters, except for maybe at dinner. This is like a home away from home. All the rooms are situated actually directly in front of where I'm sitting right now, both upstairs and downstairs, and guys are sitting on the porch telling stories, sitting here in the great room telling stories at dinner. We've met people from Maryland, some other folks from PA are here, and as I said, Mr. Dennison is from New York. So it's just, that home away from home feeling. It's like you're hanging out here with your buddies, but everybody's serious. Everybody gets up. There's no, hey, I had a rough night, or whatever. Everybody's been up in the morning, ready to go, waiting for the guys to go take them in their stands. So if you guys are looking for a hunt that is not going to break your bank, give you a chance at some unbelievable deer, B&D Outfitters is the place to check out. So at the end of this clip, I'll have the website up for you. I'll have the phone number up for you. I know since we've been in camp, Keith and I are actually going to duck hunt in the morning, and then we're heading back to Pennsylvania. But all the guys here have been texting their buddies. and I'm telling you right now, Scott will not have trouble filling his calendar in the coming years. But definitely take a look at them. Give them a call, shoot them messages. They do both waterfowl and whitetail. They are doing a little expansion coming into summer and spring, doing some mushroom hunting, and obviously, who wouldn't want to pick up a world-class shed? So you can come out here. They're getting that all set up for springtime, where you can come out and book a room and go walk their properties for sheds. So B&D Outfitters, bndoutfittersllc.com, and I will make sure to have that phone number up for you so you can give Scott a call and book your hunt today.